Hello, this is Alex Eagle, Master of Runes, and in this video let's talk about runes and what actually are runes and what can you do with runes and how can you use them to your benefits. So first of all, I'm gonna show you my runes. So there are 24 runes. And difference between runes and tarot is that there are 72 tarot cards and there are 24 runes. So tarot cards there show very specific situations and scenarios, but runes are a bit different. Runes are archetypes and universal energies. So if you take all the universe, all the consciousness, your soul, and to divide it into 24 equal parts, those will be the 24 runes. So runes is a spiritual transformative instrument. It's not just fortune telling. You can do divination with runes. You can create runic amulets to change your destiny, to cleanse things, to invite whatever you want into your life. So now let me show you all runes. Let's talk about each rune and dive a little bit deeper into this topic. So the first rune is the rune Fehu. It means wealth, new beginnings. It's a dynamic energy of wealth, of money. Second rune is rune Urus. It means strength and health and a very stable presence in the physical world. The third rune is the rune Turisas. Turisas is the rune related to god Thor. It is like a weapon. It's a focused effort, a focused beam of energy. So whenever you need to make some kind of a breakthrough, you use the rune Turisas. The fourth rune is the rune Ansus. It's the rune of the god Odin. Ansus means the mental layer of the being, the ability to speak, the ability to clearly express yourself and to have a clarity in your mind. This is the rune Ansus. The fifth rune is the rune Raido. Raido means path or movement, or also right, as in a right thing to do. Raido is the energy that helps you move in some kind of a certain direction, also the ability to understand where do you want to go and how to move towards that. The next rune is the rune Kenas. It's the rune of the fire, of passion. It's the fire that is burning in your soul and in your eyes that motivates you and inspires you to do things. Next rune is the rune Gebo. It's the rune of giving gifts, making offerings, and exchanging with an overall rune of good relationships, a rune of communication, and rune of being able to gift and receive things. And the eighth rune is the rune Wunyo. It's the rune of Wunyo is the rune of joy, of happiness, of a completed process. Let me move a little bit here. So this is the first 8 runes. So this is the first group of the runes. There are 3 groups. First 8 runes, then the second 8 runes and the third 8 runes, and this is called the runic at. There's the first at of the runes. And if you understand the rune meanings, you can see that there is a certain sequence presented in these first 8 runes. First, the rune Fehu, it's a beginning of some kind of a new process, some kind of a step into new direction that you make. So the second thing you must do to be successful is to establish a stability and a strong movement into that direction. Then also you must learn the ability to make a breakthrough, because if you don't have this energy and ability to break through, you'll be just going in circles. So these first 3 runes are, you can say that the runes are related to movement. So you're able to start a new movement, you're able to be consistent in it, and you are able to break through onto new paths in life whenever it is needed. The next runes are the rune of Ansus. It is your ability to understand and see clearly what are you doing and where are you moving to. An ability to communicate that, an ability to be in a conversation with the universe around you. Naturally, out of the Ansus rune comes the rune Raitho, being able to move into the needed direction for you, because you can move into the needed direction only when you have a clear understanding of where you are actually moving. So Kenas is the also resulting rune. When you know what you want and you are moving in that direction, naturally energy happens in your life because you are inspired, you see that you are moving and gaining results, and that why energy is awarded to you. Passion, like a fire inside of you, burns because you know where you're going and you know that you are closing in on your goal. The next rune is Gebo, so when you are able to do movement, when you are able to start to be consistent and to make breakthroughs, then you are also have learned how to understand what to do and where to move. You are able to move clearly towards your goal and you are passionate about your direction. The next 2 ideas that you must implement in your life is the ability to share this direction with other people, to communicate and to relate to others, those have also learned all the previous energies. And with such people you are able to create positive and constructive relationships, because you have the similar tools of your consciousness. And when you have achieved all this that is here before, then you receive joy in your life. Joy and happiness because you are doing the right things, you are moving in your positive directions, you are happy, you are inspired, you are able to communicate with others about it, and overall you have good relationships with other people. Then you are joyful, you are happy, you are fulfilled. In short, this is the esoteric and spiritual meaning of the first art of the runes. Now let's talk about the second art. So, when you are joyful, sometimes the joy can be so much that it overclouds your judgment. This is also the rune of a child, of an infantile person who is so much attached to joy that he just don't want to move anywhere further, because if your life is perfect, you live in harmony, everything is how you like, you will never make a next step in your evolution. That's why the next rune is the rune of destruction, the rune of Hagelas. It is a destructive event, but the idea of it is transformation through destruction, because you will not evolve if your life will not change. If you reach some kind of a level of joy and completeness, you will never change your life. So that's why for spiritual evolution, a destructive events must happen in order to allow for new things to happen. So immediately after a destructive event comes the rune of Naudis. Naudis is a stage in life when after some kind of a destructive event you operate in a bit different manner, in a energy saving, a critical situation manner, when you are applying effort, when you are a bit struggling, when you are suffering, and during this suffering the actual process of transformation happens. Here destruction happens, here you apply a lot of effort to not allow everything to die out completely, but to maintain the needed things those are necessary for your next steps. The next rune is the rune Isa, rune of ice and stability. So after you have established effort, the new effort that leads you to the next step, you must stabilize this situation, you must be consistent, and also to prevent further destruction, you are freezing down things and slowing down. And keep applying your efforts. So after that comes the rune of Yera, rune of the harvest. The rune year represents a situation when you are working, when you are applying effort, and eventually you receive results for your work. Like you are working for 1 month and then you receive your salary, or you are working for 1 year. You have growing crops, and after some time you harvest the crops and you receive your results in your harvest. So this sequence of 4 runes is a destructive event. A transformation happens. Then you apply effort and inner strength and willpower, and then, being consistent and balanced in your effort, naturally you receive positive results of your actions. So these are the half of the runes, and the first half of the runic alphabet, it's like a mundane, a physical manifestation of the runic energies. After the half, the other half of the runes are mostly about spiritual questions and spiritual and mystical and esoteric energies. So the next rune is the rune Perthro. It's probably the most mystical and most misunderstood rune of the Elder Futhark. It represents some kind of a randomness, some kind of a chance, and a hidden effects, hidden influences. As you see, it represents like a bag. It also, one of the direct translations is like a bag of runes. When you pull out a rune and you don't know what rune will happen, so this result is affected by random chance or by the spiritual world. So this rune represents all the hidden and random influences that you cannot foresee and must learn to work them as they are. So when you gain this ability to accept whatever happens and to be in harmony, to be in wisdom despite any outcomes, any situations in your life, you naturally progress to the next stage. And the next stage is one of the most powerful runes, is the rune Eos. It represents the world tree. It is the rune of transformation. So this rune, Hagalas, is a transformation through a destructive event. But this rune is a transformation through practice and through effort. Because when you have the abilities of all the prior runes, when you have gained the ability to move, you gain the ability to see clearly, understand and plan your direction, ability to communicate with others, and joy and success from your fulfillment in that. And then you also know how to handle the destructive events, how to work in the stage of stress and in a dramatic kind of situation, how to be stable and how to gain positive results despite negative life situations. And then you also know how to handle the random events and all the situations those are sent to you by the universe. Then you receive the actual great power of being able to transform yourself into a next level, into some kind of a more evolved being than you were before. So this rune is actually about this, a spiritual and magical transformation that happens through your effort, through practice, through ritual, through enlightenment, and through gaining wisdom and understanding. So this is a great power in itself. I don't know if there is any actual power that is greater than this one, the ability to transform yourself through your conscious effort. So when you gain such an amazing power, you also gain the support of higher forces, the rune Algis. They often say that's the rune of protection. It's not entirely true. It's called the rune of the elk, like an animal with horns is also a representation of it, or like a person that has his hands up to the skies, to the gods, to the universe. This is the rune of divine energy, of divine forces. So when you are able to transform yourself and apply effort, you gain the divine force. You start slowly becoming a divine being, because you are able to transform yourself in whichever direction you would want to transform yourself, other than to become a divine being. When you have achieved everything that you want in your life, money, success, finances, relationships, and joy overall, the next step is only to become a divine being. So this second act is like a process of you becoming a divine being. And the 8th rune is the rune Sovilo. It's like an energy of the sun. So when you are able to transform yourself, acquire divine qualities, naturally the energy of the sun, expansion and success comes into your life. So you can think that the first act is like a life of a human. You learn to move, you learn to think, you learn to relate with others, and you gain success and happiness in the result. The second act is a life of a divine being. You learn to deal with destructive elements, destructive forces of the nature. Those are, you cannot foresee, bad weather. I mean, like if an asteroid falls on the earth, or if an explosion happens, or if lightning strikes the tree. This is all represented by energy of Haglas. Because if there will be no dramatic destructive events, you will be always a joyful human. But life goes its way and things happen, and here you start to learn to deal with these types of things. Eventually, you become some sort of a divine being, as and you acquire the divine energy of the sun. So the third act starts with the rune Teivas. It's the rune of the god Tur. Teivas is a warrior god, is a god that is known for his sacrifice. He sacrificed his arm to be able to constrain the horrible wolf Fenrir that would otherwise kill all the gods. So the idea of this rune is self-sacrifice, willpower, victory, justice, and so on. So when you are a divine being, or half-divine being, still incarnated in a human body, and you gain these abilities, powers, and understandings, and you look at the world, you realize that justice is what is necessary in this world, and to continue expressing the expansive energy of the sun, it also naturally transforms into the masculine energy of the god Tur. As you know, the symbol of the planet Mars is like a circle with the arrow, so this is the arrow of that circle. The ability to move forward, to achieve, to expand, and to conquer. This is the rune Teivas. Also, being a divine being, you must conquer the darkness around you in order to shine light on everything that is dark. And for that, you must exactly have the qualities of a warrior. So then, by a perfectly balanced universe, also responds with the perfect feminine qualities, because when you incarnate the divine qualities of the rune Teivas, naturally your being, your soul, your consciousness balances it out by producing also the perfect qualities of a feminine energy. This rune is a Berkana, it's related to goddess Freya. It's all about the mother, the wife, and the feminine qualities of gentleness, of growth, of caring, of protection. So this rune Berkana is one of the, it's the best rune if you want to use some kind of a rune for your child, for your newborn child, or for your small child. This rune is the best one. It allows protection, natural process of growth and evolution, and allows to shape a situation of, allows to shape its energy allows to establish an environment of comfort, such an environment that is conducive to growth of a new human. So in the third act, these runes are often said that they are common pairs, so pairs like an opposites of each another. So this, like a man and a woman, these are two opposite energies. Masculine energy and feminine energy. So the next rune is the rune Evas. It's the rune of the subconsciousness, often is called as a horse, and after it is the rune Manas, like a horse and man. Not in man like man as in human, so human and horse, consciousness and subconsciousness. When they work together, just as when man and woman work together, they are able to achieve more than separately. So also here, when you unite your consciousness and subconsciousness, you can achieve much more, because you will have your subconsciousness on your side, being able to understand how to deal with it, how to manage it, and how to direct all of your being towards your goal. Next two runes are Lagus and Ingles. Lagus is the rune of water, rune of something flowing, some kind of a flowing process, like a moving energy. And after it comes the rune of Ingles, rune of completeness and wholeness. So in Ingles there is no flowing energies. Ingles is like a complete system. Imagine it's like a boat and there's a hole and something is flowing out of it. It's Lagus. And if a boat is whole, it's if a boat is without any holes in it, there are no leaking of water, of energy, and it's complete. So sometimes you need to also manifest the flowing energy to be able to change something, to move something, and sometimes you must manifest the energy of wholeness and completeness when you are like a complete system that is all constrained in itself, and when no outer influences are necessary because it is already whole. So this is the rune of the god Ing, and the god Ing is responsible for reproduction, for harvest, for nature, and for health. And also one of the other signs for the rune Ingles looks like this. Just this shape, and so in this way it represents some kind of a seed. Some kind of a seed out of which something new can grow. So when you have achieved the stage of full completeness in your life, in your spiritual process, a next stage can happen, and the next stage is the stage of Otala. So you can see this, like the Otala rune is almost like Ingles rune, but a next step. So if you take this symbol and it represents a completeness, and you just add like legs to it, you have the rune Otala. So in such a way, the idea and energy of Otala comes naturally from the idea of completeness. So when you are complete, when you are whole, you make some kind of an inheritance in your life. Like you create children, you buy land, you buy a house, and you are starting to shape your empire out of your wholeness, because when you have achieved all your goals, all your desires, and the next step is just to pass it on to the next generation, and this is the rune Otala. So when you have done all this, when you have achieved perfection and completeness in all senses, in all worlds, in physical world, in your mental, in your emotional world, in your spiritual world, the next natural step is to pass it on to other people, to your children. And when you are also perfect in this, you can say that you have finished your path in this life, you have achieved everything that there can be achieved, and the next step is only the step of full, complete enlightenment. So this rune represents, it's Dagas, it represents a day, like when sun is rising above the darkness, above the night, and lightening everything around it, dissolving darkness. But it's also a new stage, a completely new transformative event that is like a step into completely new reality. So often this is death itself, because when you have achieved perfection in life, when you have finished all your tasks and goals for this incarnation, the only natural step for you is to move on to the next life and do that all again. So this is the rune Dagas. As you can see, ancient people and ancient gods have given us these 24 runes. It's an encoded message for you, encoded sequence of stages of situations and of states that you must pass through in order to enlighten yourself, in order to become a divine being, in order to fulfill your destiny, in order to complete your tasks in this life and become a divine being as a result and acquire great power and great wisdom. So this is exactly what runes are about. And let's talk more about runes in details, what you can do with them and how you can use them, and what's the difference between runes and tarot cards, and how you can use the runes for personal transformation, spiritual evolution in next videos. Thank you for your attention and I wish you the best of luck.